What's going on, guys? Squirrels Cards back with another video, and today I'm gonna be going over my top Bowman investments. This is gonna be going over like probably the upper 90% of my portfolio because I just have a lot of international signees that are still very young in rookie ball, and I'm just not gonna go over their prices that much just because they're not that proven yet. But I'm gonna go over these guys that I have sold, guys I'm planning on selling soon, and values have changed a ton. So let's go ahead and get into it with Franklin Arias as my first guy. This is one of my best investments that I have made, really up to date since I've really gotten into this. I bought his raw orange sapphire auto out of 25, and then I got it graded for 50 bucks. It came back a 9, which I couldn't complain about. I was hoping for a 10. I thought I had a good chance, but I was able to go on eBay. It actually got back like 3 weeks after the season started, so it was the perfect time to really sell him. And I sold at auction for almost $1,400, and I was able to net profit $523. So that was really big, and he's still on a tear. I just thought at that point in time it was a great time to sell him. Everybody was talking about him, and he's really still picking up where he left off when I sold that card. It's been about the same production. Power's gone down just a tad, but honestly, he's still at 17 home runs as of right now. So, I mean, it's been phenomenal what he's done this year, but I don't regret selling at all at that time. Oh, shoot. All right, here we go. Moises Ballesteros. I bought this a long time ago, so I wouldn't even really count it from this past cycle, but I bought this about 2 years ago, and it was a great investment. Now, the interesting part about this is it's a really important lesson to sell when they're doing really good, either MLB debut or when they really have a good first week or two in MLB, because he had a very good MLB debut last year. It was like a mid 800 OPS. Didn't quite sell them because he didn't have that much hype. And then this year when he started off the season, when he got to playing, he was phenomenal. He was like almost on the NL Rookie of the Year watch, but now he's actually back in AAA. But I sold it at the perfect time. He's like at 1,000 OPS through like 15, maybe 20 games, and I was able to get $400 for it. I was in it. I bought it raw for $100, and I got it graded for 25 a while ago, and I was able to net profit $225. So that was a really good one of those longer term holds. I had the card for about 2 years, and it was graded for a while. Also came back at 10. So that was also a really good flip I wanted to highlight. And then Theo Gillen here, I actually just talked about in my last video about it was a good time to sell, and this is a really good example. So bought it in the winter for $256. It was already graded, and this was going to be honestly more of a long-term hold in my eyes. I thought it was going to his development was going to take another year or two, but got a really generous people when he got called to AA. I had 2 people pay strong for. I'll talk about the next card soon, but this was one of them. It basically set the new comp. There was like a comp for about 940 for the PSA 10, so somebody actually paid very strong and paid 500 for the PSA 9. So I was very happy about that, and 180 bucks was the net profit there. So I was really pumped up for Theo Gillen. And then secondly, this is the other card that somebody paid extremely strong for. It was $225, basically setting a huge new comp, but I couldn't complain at all. Obviously, I bought it for 86 bucks at the same time that blue auto. And these are really, the majority of these are from eBay, like pretty much entirely. I use eBay a ton. I recommend if you guys don't. Really, it just makes it easy to buy and sell cards. Now, I'm not against, obviously, if you make deals on other places like Instagram, Twitter. Me personally, I just love eBay. And this is why it's just really easy. You know, all I got to do is buy the card, hold it, and then I can sell it. And eBay makes it super easy. People like to complain about their fees, but in my opinion, their service is really worth it. And then Owen Casey here. This is another one of those longer term holds. Bought it raw like years ago, about like 3 years ago, I believe, for $356. That's when the Bowman market was actually still pretty high at the time, at that moment in time. And I got it graded for about, I forget how much Becca was, but I think it was about 25. I don't think it was any more than that. So I was in the card for 381 bucks, and then I sold it right when Owen Casey was having a really good start to his season this year for 560 bucks. He's obviously come back down to earth, which is why you always want to sell when they make their debuts or when they have their first good week or two in the MLB. And I was able to net profit 109 bucks from that, so I was happy about that. And then that leads into Juan Cabada here. I have other Owen Casey cards I'll talk about, but Juan Cabada here as a Cubby, I just wanted him as a true blue for 58 bucks. You know, I was just gonna get it. I like any Cubs international signing. I like in one of their nice autos. In this case, I wasn't really expecting to flip it, but I got a really nice offer. It was random too. He hasn't played since May, but I sold it right around since he was stopped playing. I think he's got an injury or something going on. But it was a strong offer for 145 bucks, so I absolutely took it, and I was able to net profit $69 from Juan Cabada. And then Jacob Wilson here, bought this about a season ago. It was when he was still in the minor leagues, actually, so maybe almost 2 years ago. But for 168 bucks, I honestly should have sold this way earlier. His stuff was doing nearly $400 for his base PSA 10 auto, but I ended up selling it when he was kind of down. He got hurt, but I still was able to profit, so I had no issue with that. Just net profited 55 bucks here on the Jacob Wilson base PSA 10 auto. And now here's the other Owen Casey. Bought it raw for 325 at a similar time as I bought the black auto, and I just spent 25 bucks to get it graded. It came back a 9, so I couldn't really be that upset. And then I sold it for 455 bucks, basically the same day as I auctioned off the black Owen Casey auto as well. So just a net profit of 48 bucks. Couldn't really complain though, because I thought I was actually going to be way down on this card ever since he had that rough stretch with the Cubs when he got called up last season. And then Jacob Wilson here, I was honestly kind of shocked I was able to get 300 for it after I got graded, but came back at 10, which is always great, but he was not playing that good. But I found somebody that was trying to buy a ton of Jacob Wilsons while he was relatively, his prices were down, and I got a nice offer for 300, so I absolutely would not say no, because I was actually not expecting to profit on this card at the time. After it came back graded, even though it was in a 10, which is usually easy to profit when you get in a 10, but his card values just went way down, and I almost missed on some Jacob Wilsons, but thankfully this is one I hit on. And then those are all the cards I've sold that I no longer have them, and then this is what I net profited. So a pretty solid number, definitely higher than what I expected going into this season. First year getting back into like baseball prospecting, investing, because I kind of took a few years off, and I was very happy with that number, $1,366. So I was definitely pumped up about that. And then now I'm going to talk about some of the cards I still have that have gone up in value, but I just haven't sold them yet. All right, so this is one of my favorite ones. Johan De Los Santos, his Sunflower Seeds auto out of 5, PSA 10 auto 10. I bought it on eBay for, it was $11.50, but after fees, obviously since I'm taking fees into account, it was $1,237. And my estimated value here, it's roughly, I'm not saying it's obviously going to be exact, but it was $3,250 because of comp of a Red Wave PSA, just the BSA 10, not an auto 10, sold for $3,000 on the dot on eBay. So I was taking into account the autos a 10, and also I think his value I could probably ask for a little bit more. But even if I estimated value for $3,000, it's about a $1,400 to $1,600 net profit if I were to sell it now. I haven't got any offers directly yet for the card because I'm planning on selling this long term or holding it long term. Even though I wouldn't mind taking profit if somebody gave me an offer on that number. But I just really am high on Johan De Los Santos, and he's actually in low A again, and he's starting to do really good. He had 2 hits today. Jefferson Rojas here, one of my favorite Cubs prospects at the moment, currently in AA, and this was a card I bought for back when he didn't have as much hype. He still had a solid amount of hype, but definitely not as much as he has now. Bought it for 84 bucks raw, got it graded, came back at 10, and the estimated value, a comp did exactly 305 for the same exact card at PSA 10 Atomic Auto about a week ago. So just taking that same comp, or even around that area, it would be 158 bucks unrealized net profit that I could hit right now, but I'm planning on waiting till he gets up to AAA because I'm really confident in his ability, not even just being a Cubs fan bias. I do think his values, he's still relatively undervalued in my opinion, but he's starting to get a little bit more hype, so I'm kind of waiting for a better time to sell. And then I actually bought, it wasn't from the same person, but just to make it simpler to understand, I bought 3 refractor autos just raw for on average 40 bucks across the board, and now they're about worth $100 each, so it would be estimated value of $300, and I would net profit if I sold them all right now for $157, which Johan De Los Santos, I was high on back in the winter, and I still am even more high on him now. He's going to be a phenomenal prospect for the Pirates, and he just really excited to see what he can do, and this is why I'm still holding on to his cards. And then Caleb Bonnemer here, another prospect I was extremely excited about to play this year, and his expectations have gone crazy. He's in AA. He's doing great in AA so far. He actually just had a 2-home run day yesterday as I'm recording this video. But I bought his PSA 10 Green Sapphire auto, already graded, and it was for about 390 bucks, which I thought was a great deal because it's a fairly low numbered auto, and it's from Sapphire. It's an expensive product, especially that product right there. 2024 Bowman Draft Sapphire is extremely expensive. Got a ton of huge names in that product. So I thought this was a great buy. And right now there's a comp, I believe, a few weeks ago or maybe last week that did $620 on the dot. And I think I would honestly be right there. I would probably accept an offer for that as of right now, but I do think his value is going to start going way up since he is handling AA very well. He's got like a mid 800 OPS there and is really showing off the power. But this would be an estimated net profit about 153 bucks if I were to sell for that same exact price on eBay. All right, and then we got Franklin Arias again here. This is one I'm holding on to. It was my opinion back. I was going to sell the refractor over the orange because I kind of wanted to see if Franklin Arias could keep it up and hold on to that big orange auto. But I decided to just take my big profit then. But I am going to hold on to this refractor auto. I bought it for 144 bucks, already graded. Right now, roughly. I would probably take about 300 for it, but its values, I have it at 320. A few raw versions of the refractor did about 240, and then both back-to-back 300. So I would probably want to be around 320 for it. But the unrealized net profit here is about 136 bucks. So big fan of Franklin Arias. Obviously wish I bought more. The case of a lot of these guys, I really wish I dug in more and bought a ton more of their stuff. But yeah, I'm very happy with this card that I got right now. And then a true blue auto in a PSA 9 for Caleb Bonham. Another one of those scenarios where true blue autos are highly sought after, and Caleb Bonham I felt like was undervalued, so I was happy to pay 353 bucks for this, already graded. And I estimate it right now about 525 bucks because the last comp I saw did 500, and I just think he's done better since the last comp. It would probably do about 10 to 15 or 25 bucks more. So unrealized profit of 106 bucks. But I'm not necessarily trying to sell a ton of Caleb Bonham right now, just because I feel like he still has so much more value to gain. Because his base odds used to go for 100 bucks, and now they're only going for like 85. So I still feel like he can get back to that hype that he was once at about a month and a half ago. Another example, Yohan De Los Santos here. Bought this card for 80 bucks. True blue auto, another one of those examples, just buying a nice sought after card. And right now it's about 180. Honestly, I feel like it would be a lot more, but I'm just going to go off what the last comps were. But it would be an estimated net profit of 78 bucks. But comps before this one were about 220, 230. But I did take the most recent comp just to be fair. And then another Caleb Bonham. Obviously, you're going to see a trend of these similar guys I went after. But I bought 3 of his base autos. And, well, actually, I bought 4. One of them, unfortunately, had to get refunded because the buyer already sold it and didn't know, which was whatever. I wasn't going to complain. But bought 3 of them for about $64 on average for each one. And it's about a $21 profit for each one. So, unrealized net profit of 55 bucks if I were to sell all 3 right now at $85. And then Wyatt Langford here. This one's just, I was really excited. When he stayed healthy, that's the thing. He just needs to stay healthy. I bought this in hopes he was really going to stay healthy and put together a full season. He's done half of it. He's starting to really play good, but he's not staying healthy. So I'm estimating about $300 here. Last comp was $290, but also comps before that were about $330 and even one at $360. So I just kind of put it at $300 flat, and it's really almost a break even, 18 bucks profit. I'd be down to move Wyatt Langford now, but hopefully he can get healthy and figure things out. And then Emil Morales here. He actually is an auction. I was kind of waiting on the estimated value, but I just kind of went off an old comp for a PSA 9, just kind of almost doubling it. So I have an estimated about 500. I bought it for 400. We'll have to see what this new auction does that is actually ending right as I'm recording this video. But it's 37 bucks in net profit, not a bad card. And this is an example where, I'm not going to sell him right now because I still think he has so much more value to gain as a 19-year-old in high A, and he's got a lot of power potential. And then Junior Caminero here, I wish I bought more, obviously, because as of the past few weeks, he's been absolutely ridiculous. And I was happy to actually have this card, though. I didn't want to not have any Junior Caminero cards because I just think he's so talented and he's really going to be a superstar. He's really looking like that right now at the moment, and he's going to be on track for another 40 plus home run year. Maybe he gets the 50 this year, who knows. But I bought it for $355 in PSA 9, and I really estimate this around 410 bucks since the last version of this card sold for 400 a few days ago. So just throw on an extra 10 bucks because he continues to keep hitting home runs. So I really wish I bought more Junior Caminero. And then I believe, Eduardo Quintero. So this is the first out of the upper 90% of my portfolio, or at least guys I want to talk about. This is the first loss I'll cover in this video. Now, I'm not making this video to say I profit every single time. It's not that. These are just kind of the main, where most of my money went when I was investing. Thankfully, it was a lot of green, a lot of profit. But Eduardo Quintero, his prices are starting to come back up. I bought 3 of his spec autos from different people on average for about 203 bucks. And the estimated value right now has gone down. It's 585 for all 3. Or if I was just buying one, it would be 195. But I still think he has such a ton of upside. And just really excited for him. I think his value is going to really start picking back up here since he's been playing great the past few weeks. And then my total unrealized net profit. So if I took all those cards I just talked about, sold them, I would have $2,520 worth of profit. So it's a really good number. I'm really happy about that. Really went full in this year, and I'm going to continue to keep going in. I'm excited to go to the National actually and buy a ton more cards. And just some takeaways. So this would be my potential profit, including the money I've already gotten through the sales. But yeah, let me know some of your guys' big wins so far, big flips, and then just solid investments you guys still have or cards you're still holding on to in the comments. Also, this is kind of a different video I just wanted to cover. I don't like just trying to I don't want this to be like a brag video or anything like that. I just want to go over kind of the cards I got so you guys know what I actually have sold or not. If you don't know my eBay page, it's Squill K on eBay. And yeah, remember to like, subscribe, and comment down below videos you guys want to see. And thank you guys for watching.